All right, Steve, so a couple things real quick. I just want to come back. I want to talk more about the survival and the symbiotic concept. Okay, so there's a truckload of products on the market, 50,000, 50 billion. Dude, it's what, 100 billion or something that's coming out? I mean, it's going to be 300 billion by the end of the year.
It sounds like an auctioneer. Do I hear 400 billion?
Yeah, let's bring it out. All right, so you know, your guys' product, 50 billion in a little shaker, live bacteria, but as we were saying, you know, before manufacturing, that might be, at the date of manufacturing, that might be 180 billion, sure, right? To where when you buy the product, you're insured the 50 billion of live bacteria.
At the expiry.
At the expiration date.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit more and let's talk about this symbiotic relationship to the right bacteria. And I want to develop that a little bit. So the nice thing about yours, 2 bacteria, we know they're functional to the human intestinal tract. All the studies would suggest when it comes to healthy individuals, these particular strains, so to speak, are in these healthy individuals on an abundant basis. So let's give me a little bit more data on that.
Sure. Well, you know, there is, like I say, there's if you wanted to build the perfect human being, you wanted to be an Olympic swimmer, correct?
Right.
You would.
I'd be the diver.
You would have to first start as a human being.
Correct.
The synergy to a bacteria would be lactobacillus. That puts you in the ballpark. But you know what? But I want to be an Olympic swimmer. So the next thing would be human being swimmer.
Got it.
Swimmer.
Not rat.
Right. Swimmer. The next one else would be Lactobacillus acidophilus.
So we qualified.
Yeah. Now you're
Lactobacillus
qualified, but you're still
acidophilus.
You're still not the top.
Okay.
Right? The top swimmer. Now the top swimmer is I want to be a human being swimmer, Michael Phelps.
Dude.
Right?
We're going to do that. Right. Let's face it, that's like the cream of the crop.
Right. And so for bacteria, and what we've developed is Lactobacillus acidophilus CL1285, which is the strain that we own the patent.
Quantified, qualified, the exact strain.
The strain, because not all strains act the same.
Right.
You can have 400 different types of lactobacillus. They all can have, some can develop a health benefit, others won't. We have, through all of our years of research and through development and through proof, that this is one that really does the job and survives the entire GI
survives, gets in, symbiotic to human situations, the Michael Phelps of the bacteria.
Correct.
Okay, so then now all of a sudden we've got the best bacteria. So I want to kind of develop this whole concept of, all right, I roll by the shelf. You've got like 4 different products.
If you're lucky, it's usually about 400.
Right. No, I'm talking about just in your product line.
Our product, okay.
Yeah, but no, you're right. I think we got 100.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right.
Okay, so now we've qualified a live bacteria. So now all of a sudden, we've kind of separated you out from a whole nother gang of products.
Right.
So let's talk specifically about your 4 products that you've got. So, you know, the original product.
Well, first of all, they're all the same formula.
Right.
They're all the same formula. They have the same bacteria and everything like that. But basically what we have is, first of all, we have 2 dairy-based products. So we have a strawberry, which is sweet. Kids
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm a kid, I guess.
That's our #1 seller. And kids love it. It's great to give, safe to give to kids.
My kids love it. They drank it all.
Perfect. The second one, the dairy product, is our original. So if you remember the old acidophilus, even though there's no yogurt in ours, there's no yeast.
Yeah.
But in the original flavor, it has that more of that tart yogurt.
Yeah, almost like a plain
very plain
taste.
Right.
Yeah.
But people like that. And then on the other side, if you are, let's say, vegan.
And there's a lot of people that are vegan and they just don't want milk.
We have sprouted brown rice, organic rice.
Okay, so stop for a second.
Yeah,
sprouted, organic, certified brown rice.
Correct.
Okay, so somebody that's not a soy guy, this is a big moment.
This is a big moment, and that is becoming very, very popular.
It is.
And it's actually my personal favorite because I like the, it's kind of like a tart blueberry.
Yeah, and we had a taste of it. I've had it plenty of times, but before we start the segment, we had another one. It's just the flavor is great. I love it.
Absolutely. And then the final one of our liquid products is we do have a soy, but it is a fermented, non-GMO, no hormone soy.
Very qualified in that situation. Fermented, or gone through a fermentation process.
Correct.
No GMO.
No hormones.
And then the last product we've got.
And finally, we have capsules.
Right.
Capsules are used by a lot. We develop them because hospitals don't deal well with the liquids. So we have capsules.
Sensible.
But we have the capsules in 3 doses, by the way. We have a 50 billion, which is that clinical strength. And when you take, if you're like on antibiotic and you want to Make sure you're replacing your flora. You got some other major
Which anybody
issues.
on antibiotics needs to do.
Absolutely. From the start of the antibiotic to about 5 days after, they need to be on heavy doses. And the other is, and then we have a 25 billion, which is it's a little bit less potent, but you take it if you just had a big Thanksgiving dinner, ate over at the Channeman's house and you really overdid it.
That's a good thing.
My wife can cook great. So basically you take the 25 billion, and then we have for everyday maintenance, because probiotics is foundational.
Absolutely.
It's something you take every day. Keep your flora up. And we have a 12.5 billion. It would be like equivalent of taking the liquid, a quarter of the liquid. Cup. 12.5 billion capsule.
So liquids, active, ready to go.
Right.
Probably the best way, if you can,
correct,
to use the liquids.
Right, because it starts working right in your mouth. You start absorbing.
And the stuff is moving. I mean, it's alive, it's kicking.
Right.
It's my favorite.
Right.
Capsules, though, if I'm traveling, I love the capsules. It's going to work good.
Right.
So to round it up, we've got everything that the consumer would want for a probiotic that's a legitimate probiotic that works extremely well.
And the bottom line, people, is that if you try it, people like it. And the bottom line, it works.
And I've used it for the last 2 months, and I love it.
Oh, you look great.
Well, hey, Bio-K moment, right?
Thank you.
Steve, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Great having you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
This is Starkey Sowers for Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market. Thanks for joining us.